Good morning, everyone, and happy holidays. I'm going to take this off since we're far apart and it won't matter. You're not actually here with me. This morning, our first Saturday story time, we're going to talk about the December holidays because we have Christmas, but there's other holidays that other cultures celebrate during this time of year. So we're going to talk a little about all of those. First, before we start, I want to remind you, right now we are doing our Book Points program. On the Facebook page, pinned to the top of the page, are directions on how to sign up. And remember that if you sign up, you list the books you read or that are read to you. So this morning, I'm going to read several books. You can list them on your Book Points and earn points towards the prize drawings. Our next drawing is December 20th. Okay, so we're going to start today by talking about Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a holiday that is celebrated December 26th through January 1st this year. It's a 7-day celebration, and unlike most of the holidays we're going to be talking about, it's not a religious holiday, it is a cultural holiday. So it celebrates the culture of the African American people who came here from Africa or were brought here from Africa against their will. But it celebrates their culture and their life. Like many of the other holidays, it has a lot of things in common. Most of the holidays have something to do with lights. Their holiday has candles that are lit each of the nights of the 7 days. It's also a harvest festival. So we have here the cornucopia with the fruits and vegetables. The colors are an African flag, the green, black, and red. And let's read Little Rabbit's Hanukkah. Let me get closer where you can see it. I'm sorry, Kwanzaa, not Hanukkah. Little Rabbit's Kwanzaa. And this is by Donna L. Washington, illustrated by Shane W. Evans. All right, whoops, let's get right to the right first page here. Okay. Little Rabbit was not having a very good Kwanzaa. Being the littlest rabbit in the family wasn't easy. He couldn't remember the names of all the days. He wasn't allowed to light the candles. His brothers and sisters made wonderful gifts to share. Little Rabbit was too embarrassed to share his gifts. He hated being the youngest. He was always in the way, and everyone told him he was too little to help. The only part of Kwanzaa that he really loved was the big feast called Kwanzaa. This year, he wasn't even going to have that. Grandma Rabbit was sick. She lay in bed all day drinking dandelion tea. Mama Rabbit was so busy taking care of her, she didn't have time to cook. Mama, if Grandma Rabbit is sick, who will make the feast of Kwanzaa? Little Rabbit asked his mother. Shame on you, Little Rabbit, his mama said. Grandma Rabbit is sick, and all you think about is your stomach. You go outside. Little Rabbit hopped out and sat on the big gnarled tree stump. He really wanted to go and talk to Grandma Rabbit. She was very wise. Little Rabbit sat and thought. He thought about all the things his Grandma said about Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a special time when we help each other. That's what Grandma Rabbit said. That's it, Little Rabbit jumped up and danced around. I'll bring Grandma Rabbit a special treat for Kwanzaa. That will make her feel better. Little Rabbit hopped down the road. Where are you going so fast? Mama Oriole asked Little Rabbit. I'm going to find a tasty treat for Grandma Rabbit. She's sick. I want her to have a good karamu, Little Rabbit hopped away. Mama Oriole didn't know what karamu was, but she knew Grandma Rabbit. Grandma Rabbit always brought out warm seed cakes and warm pudding when the weather got cold. Poor Grandma Rabbit, said Mama Oriole. I wish there was something I could do to help. Little Rabbit stopped by the side of the path. He looked under some logs to see if he could find something special for Grandma Rabbit. What are you doing, Little Rabbit? Asked Groundhog, sticking his head out of a patch of grass. I'm trying to find a zawadi for Grandma Rabbit. She's sick. I want to help her feel better. Little Rabbit hopped off. Groundhog didn't know what a zawadi was, but he knew Grandma Rabbit. She always had time to make little toys for the animals when they were bored. Poor Grandma Rabbit, said Groundhog. I wish there was something I could do to help. Little Rabbit hopped down to the pond. Maybe he could find something pretty for Grandma Rabbit. What are you doing, Little Rabbit? Asked the frogs. I'm looking for something pretty for Grandma Rabbit. She's sick. She should have something too pretty to hang on the wall at Kwanzaa time. Little Rabbit scratched an ear and hopped away. The frogs didn't know anything about Kwanzaa time, but they knew Grandma Rabbit. She could paint beautiful pictures and write wonderful poems. Poor Grandma Rabbit, said one of the frogs. I wish there was something we could do to help. Little Rabbit hopped through the field looking for berries. Where are you going, Little Rabbit? Mama Field Mouse asked. She was dragging all her children behind her. Grandma Rabbit is sick, said Little Rabbit. I'm going to make sure she has a good karamu. I'm going to find as many berries as I can. Little Rabbit looked proud as he hopped through the meadow. Mama Field Mouse didn't know anything about karamu, but she knew Grandma Rabbit. Grandma Rabbit helped out with the children when Mama Field Mouse had to run errands. Poor Grandma Rabbit, said Mama Field Mouse. I wish there was something I could do to help. Little Rabbit scampered through the trees. Good morning, Little Rabbit, said Papa Squirrel. Why are you sniffing around the trees? I'm looking for something to give Grandma Rabbit. She's sick. I want her to have a good Kwanzaa. Little Rabbit hopped away. Papa Squirrel didn't know anything about Kwanzaa, but he knew Grandma Rabbit. She always helped him gather nuts in the fall. She even helped him remember where he hid them. Poor Grandma Rabbit, said Papa Squirrel. I wish there was something I could do to help. Little Rabbit spent the whole day trying to find something for Grandma Rabbit. He searched as hard as he could, but he didn't find anything at all. He was very sad. I guess I'm too little to do anything. As the sun was setting, he hopped slowly home. When he opened the door, he had a big surprise. Everyone was there. Grandma Rabbit was sitting in the big chair with a huge smile on her face. The frogs had brought pink flowers from the lily pads. Mama and Papa Spider hung them from the ceiling like lanterns. Mama Oriole was conducting a fine chorus of birds. Groundhog brought little toys and gifts for everyone. Mama Field Mouse had gotten together with Mama Possum and Mama Raccoon to make a delicious feast. The air was full of excitement. Mama Rabbit served the plates, and Little Rabbit ate until he thought he would burst. After that, Papa Rabbit told funny stories about Br'er Rabbit, Anasazi the spider, guinea fowl, and the mosquito. The stories made everyone laugh. Then Papa Spider plucked on his web strings, Cricket got out his fiddle, and all the animals had a wonderful dance. Grandma Rabbit taught everyone a new word, Harambe, she called out as her friends danced. It means, let's pull together. We don't need anyone to tell us that, said Papa Squirrel. We already pulled together. Everyone laughed and shouted, Harambe, Harambe, Harambe. When the karamu was over, Little Rabbit sat with his grana in the big chair. Why are you so sad, Little Rabbit? His grana asked. Didn't you have a good time? Yes, Little Rabbit said quietly. But I wanted to do something special for you. Grana Rabbit just laughed. You silly rabbit, she said, hugging Little Rabbit tight. If you hadn't gone off looking for Karamu this morning, it never would have found its way here tonight. Little Rabbit frowned. But I'm the only one who didn't have anything to share. His grana smiled. You shared your dream, Little Rabbit, and your dream brought all of our friends and neighbors together. That's a big thing. Little Rabbit felt proud. My dream did all that? Yes, I'm not surprised, though, his grana said. Why not, Little Rabbit asked. Because I have faith in you. If you have faith, Little Rabbit, there's always hope. Oh, I'll try to remember that, said Little Rabbit, yawning. By the way, said Grana Rabbit, snuggling him close, this was the best karamu ever. And this, at the back of the book, tells us about the Nguzo Saba. That's the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. We're not going to read that, but if you want to come borrow the book, you can learn more. And in the meantime, I'm going to play us a Kwanzaa song. Let's see if I can make it play. Now, while it's playing, I'm going to move back to the chair. Okay, I'm not going to play the whole song because we have a lot more to get through still. So that was just a little bit of the Kwanzaa song. Now, the next holiday I want to talk about is known as Hanukkah. And this is a celebration by the Jewish people. I'm not sure if I have the candles all lined up right. This is what they call a menorah. And theirs is a 8-day celebration. There's 9 candles, but there's 8 days of the Hanukkah. And they light a candle every day, very similar to the Kwanzaa candles. And let me tell you a little more about Hanukkah, because it is the celebration of the Jewish people. I, unfortunately, don't know that much about it. I did learn a lot more about Kwanzaa than this. But like the African American celebration, this is from the Jewish culture, okay? Each culture has their own celebrations. And this is a celebration of the time when God provided for the people, and they celebrated over 8 nights. Like Kwanzaa, it's all about their faith, about their family, about fun and games and eating. They have foods called latkes, which is like a potato pancake. They play games. This is a dreidel, and it's a toy that you spin. It lands on a side, and then the side that comes up tells them what to do. They exchange pennies or little tokens, and whoever ends up with the most is the winner. Some of the words that you might want to know are menorah and dreidel. There are gifts. Gifts are given. There are candles that are placed in the menorah. Gelt, that's one of the prizes with the Dryant. It's a small amount of money. So we usually use pennies because that's our smallest amount of money. With the latkes, the potato pancakes, they also have applesauce, So let me read a little about Hanukkah. And this story is called Hanukkah Bear. Again, I'm going to come down here closer where you can see the pictures better. This is Hanukkah Bear by Eric A. Kimmel, illustrated by Mike Wonotka. Old Bear awoke from his winter sleep. He poked his nose outside his den. What was that? Something to eat. Old Bear's empty stomach rumbled. He shook himself all over, then lumbered out of his den to follow the delicious smell. Baba Branya took the last potato latke from the pan and put it in the oven with the others. Baba Branya was 97 years old and did not hear or see as well as she used to, but she still made the best potato latkes in the village. Every year at Hanukkah time, all her friends came to her house on the edge of the forest. How they loved those latkes. Baba Branya always made plenty, but tonight she made twice as many as usual. Tonight was special. The rabbi was coming. Baba Branya hurried to get ready, dusting and sweeping, putting out her menorah. Just then she heard a thump on the door. She opened it. Rabbi, you're early. How nice to see you. Rumph, growled Old Bear. Happy Hanukkah to you too. Please come in. Old Bear walked into the house. I'll take your coat, Rabbi. My, how thick it is. Baba Branya tugged at Old Bear's fur. Old Bear roared. Grrr! Oh, you want to keep your coat on? Well, that's all right. It is chilly in here. Old Bear's nose twitched. Rumph. Thank you, Rabbi. How kind of you to say that. The latkes will taste even better than they smell. Old Bear followed his nose to the oven. Rabbi, I'm surprised at you. You know we don't eat until we light the menorah. Grrr. That's all right. I know you were teasing. I'll light the candles. Will you say the blessing? Rumph. Baba Branya lit a match and lit the shamas candle. Then she lit the one for the first night. Old Bear muttered and growled. Rumph. Who has kept us alive, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this season? Oh, Rabbi, you say the blessings so beautifully. Baba Branya sat down at the table. Old Bear sat beside her. Let's play dreidel. We'll use these nuts. Old Bear cracked one with his teeth. Rabbi, you won't have any nuts for the game if you eat them. Growled Old Bear. Don't worry, I have plenty of nuts if you need more. Baba Branya spun the dreidel. It stopped on the letter Gimel. I win. Baba Branya swept the nuts into her apron. Roar! Old Bear roared. Don't be angry, Rabbi. It's only a game. She tossed him a nut. Old Bear begged for more. No, Rabbi, no more nuts. It's time for dinner. Baba Branya opened the oven door and took out a platter piled high with steaming hot potato latkes. Old Bear sniffed the latkes as she set them on the table. Do you prefer sour cream or jam? Baba Branya asked. Brr, Old Bear growled. Jam, I thought so. Baba Branya smeared 5 big latkes with jam and stacked them on Old Bear's plate. Old Bear gobbled them down. Baba Branya laughed. You should use a fork. You have jam all over your beard. She wet a towel and wiped Old Bear's face. I must tell you, Rabbi, you eat like a bear. Grrr. I'm hungry like a bear, so I eat like one. I can see that, Baba Branya said. Old Bear ate and ate till the latkes were gone. He felt drowsy. His head flopped on Baba Branya's lap. Rabbi, you're sleepy. Who wouldn't be sleepy after such a meal? All the latkes are gone. It's time to go home. But before you leave, I have a Hanukkah present for you. Baba Rania took a red scarf from her knitting basket. She wrapped it around Old Bear's neck. I made it myself. Grrr. Old Bear licked Baba Branya's face. Baba Branya blushed. Oh, Rabbi, at my age. Old Bear shuffled to the door. Grrr, he growled as he walked off into the night. Good night to you too, Rabbi. Happy Hanukkah. Baba Branya was washing dishes when she heard another knock. I wonder who that is. Shalom, Baba Branya. All her friends stood at the door wishing her a happy Hanukkah. Shalom, everybody, Baba Branya said. How nice to see you. I'm sorry I don't have any more latkes. The rabbi came by. He ate them all. Baba Branya, don't you recognize me? It was the rabbi. The rabbi couldn't have eaten your latkes, everyone said. He's been with us in the synagogue. Baba Branya rubbed her forehead. Something strange is happening. Rabbi, I think there's an impostor going around. He looks like you. He talks like you. He even has your beard. Just then the children cried, Bear tracks! A bear? And I thought it was the rabbi. Baba Branya had to sit down. Soon she began to giggle. That was a very clever bear. Or a very foolish Baba Branya. Oh well, let the bear have a happy Hanukkah. I had a happy Hanukkah too, and so will you, dear friends. Bring some potatoes from the cellar. Fetch my grater and bowl. Everybody has to help. You too, Rabbi. If we all work together, we'll soon have latkes for everyone. Deep in the forest, Old Bear slumbered in his den. His stomach was full of potato latkes. The warm woolen scarf was wrapped snugly around his neck. Pleasant dreams, Old Bear, and happy Hanukkah. And here we have a recipe so you could make latkes yourself. Okay, now I'm going to play a song that is about Hanukkah. So that's a little bit of the Hanukkah song. Okay, now we're going to talk just a little about a holiday called Los Pasadas. And it is a holiday that is related to Christmas. It is the story created by Catholic people to celebrate Mary and Joseph's trip to the inn where they ended up having baby Jesus. And in Los Pasadas, people travel from place to place. It's usually celebrated in Mexico and some parts of the U.S. between December 16th and December 24th. And it is the journey Joseph and Mary made to Nazareth, from Nazareth to Bethlehem, in search of a place for Mary to give birth to baby Jesus. And so eventually they found a place in a stable where the Christ child was born. And people dress and they travel from house to house and they ask, and they're told there's no room, there's no room, there's no room. And finally they come to one place where there's room. And at that place, family and friends gather together and have food and fun, songs. So I don't have a book about Los Facadas, but Latino culture also has the tradition of using piñatas to celebrate holidays. So we're going to read A Pinata in a Pine Tree. Oops. So let me get back down here where you can see the book. Okay. And Pinata in a Pine Tree is a Latino 12 Days of Christmas by Pat Mora, illustrated by Magali Morales. Okay. Look, with amor from your secret amigo. This means with love from your secret friend. On the first day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me a piñata in a pine tree. Una is one. Oh, now if I can turn the pages. On the second day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me dos pastelitos, pastelitos, in a piñata in a pine tree. On the third day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me tres tamalitos, dos pastelitos, and a piñata in a pine tree. See, tamalitos. On the fourth day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me cuatro luminarias. See the pretty lights, luminarias. Tres tamalitos, dos pastelitos, and a piñata in a pine tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, cinco guitarrias. I can't even say that one. That's bad. Guitarrias. Cuatro luminarias, tres tamalitos, dos pastelitos, and a piñata in a pine tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me seis trompos girando. Ah, look, the tops. Trompos herrañas. Cinco guitarrias, cuatro luminarias, tres tamalitos, dos pastelitos, and a piñata in a pine tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me seven. Where's the seven? Siete burritos bailando. Well, look, see the burritos bailando? Seis trompos girando, cinco guitarras, cuatro luminarias, tres tamalitos, dos pastelitos, and a piñata in a pine tree. On the eighth day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me ocho pajaritos serando. Oh, look, see the little birds? Pajaritos serando. Seis burritos beando. Seis trompos girando. Cinco guitarras. Cuatro luminarias. Tres tamalitos. Dos pastelitos. And a piñata in a pine tree. On the ninth day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me nueve. Where's my nueve? Oh, nueve, 9. Nueve campanetas sonado. Look, the bells, right? Campanetas sonado. Ocho pajaritos cerrando. Siete burritos bailando. Seis trompos girando. Cinco guitarras. Cuatro luminarias. Tres tamalitos. Dos pastelitos, and a piñata in a pine tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me 10 estrelitas saltando. Okay. 9 campanitos sonando, 8 pajitos serenado, 7 burritos bailando, 6 trompos girando, 5 guitarras, 4 luminarias, 3 tamalitos, 2 pastelitos, and a piñata in a pine tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my amiga gave to me 11 lunetas cantando. Oh, see? 11 lunetas cantando. 10 estrelitos saltando. 9 campanitos sonando. 8 pajitos serenando. 7 burritos bailando. 6 trompos girando. 5 guitarras. 4 luminarias. 3 tamalitos. 2 pastelitos. And a piñata in a pine tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, my amigo gave to me 12 angelitos celebrando. 12 angelitos celebrando, 11 lunitas cantando, 10 estrelitos saltando, 9 campanitos sonado, 8 pajaritos serenado, 7 burritos bailando, 6 trompos girando, 5 guitarras, 4 luminarias, 3 tamalitos, 2 pastelitos, and a piñata in a pine tree. Oh, look, gracias. So her friend gave her lots of fun things for the Christmas time. We're going to play a song that celebrates the Latino culture. This is Feliz Navidad. This is the Jose version. Okay, so that was a little bit of a Latin version of a Christmas carol. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. But in Espanol, we say Feliz Navidad y Prospero Año. And we all really hope next year will be better. Prospero Año and Happy New Year. Okay, our last story today is the Christmas story. And this is for the Christian faith. Again, all of these have to do with culture, faith, family, and the things that people believe. So this is the first Christmas night. And again, let me come back down there where you can see better. All right. The first Christmas night, written by Keith Christopher and illustrated by Christine Kornacki. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. And this is from the Christian Bible, Isaiah 9:6. 'Twas the very first Christmas when all through the town not a creature was stirring. There was not a sound. The moon shone shining bright in the heaven so high, gave the luster of midday to the Bethlehem sky. The animals were nestled in warm, cozy places, with looks of contentment on each of their faces. And Mary and Joseph, so tired from the road, had just settled into a humble abode. To a Bethlehem stable they had traveled with care. They knew that their baby soon would be there. And then in the stable, a baby's first cry, peace on earth, goodwill, redemption is nigh. He had not a crib, but a manger instead. The tiny new baby laid down his sweet head. Mary looked down at his cute little nose and silently counted 10 fingers, 10 toes. As shepherds kept watch on a small nearby hill, their sheep were all silent and sleepy and still. When suddenly in the sky there arose such a sight, one angel, then many, appeared in the night. So the shepherds arose to search for the place, to get a close look at the baby's sweet face. When they finally found the babe they had sought, whoops, I think I missed a page. Oh, yes. Then out of the east there came royalty, whose mission was finding the Savior, you see. When they finally found the baby they had sought, gold, frankincense, and myrrh were the gifts that they brought. So the wise men bowed down and praised his sweet name. Soon all those who heard would rejoice that he came. And now that we know, can say with delight. Oops. The page doesn't want to turn. Jesus was born on the first Christmas night. So I hope you enjoyed all of our stories today and our multicultural first Saturday. One last thing though, let me grab it. So remember, our Book Points program, you get points for all the books you read or that you listen to. So you can write all these down in your log. But also, by watching our program today, you can put in a secret code. And this is our secret code for today, XMASSAT. That will get you an extra point in the drawing for this month. And we'll have that drawing on the 20th. Bye, guys. See you next month. That one was